Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Legend, where today, I think we're starting a game in, we're starting the episode at least, in a relatively competitive position. I know our empire is quite a bit smaller than several of the other players, but we have some space to do something about that. And I was kind of thinking before that we would try to expand up through the necrophages, right? TNN having changed hands does make that a little weird. But at the same time, TNN having changed hands probably means that we can declare war on the necrophages and just take Slick over. Obviously, they will run an army down through TNN, provided Red allows them, which they may not. If I do this, can we see if you have closed? No, okay, we don't get to see any of the modifiers. So if Red's borders are closed to the necrophages, then obviously that would go a great way toward protecting us. I'm pretty sure that I cannot ask you to close borders on other people. Yeah. We would, all you can really do in that sense is to ask people to declare war on others, and obviously we can't do that with Red because they cannot declare war on people. So, yeah, taking Slick over might totally be possible with an actual army. Not even much of an army, probably. So we might do that. I am noticing that there are two different regions up here that have Titan Bones, and boy, I sure would like those Titan Bones. We'll see. Maybe we end up marching across Red's territory to take them on, like with Purple at our side. Out of curiosity, what are the military values looking like right now? Okay, that's interesting. The necrophages are not much more powerful than Purple, so if we could just shore up our army, yeah, that's a possibility. That is maybe a possibility. Another thing I noticed while I was setting up here is that Fakir wants 30 blood crystal, and while we do not have any blood crystal and we do not have a source of blood crystal, there's actually a ton of it on the market. The demand is completely crashed, and it's actually very cheap. So we have an army that's like within a turn or two of movement. Yeah, like we can totally get ourselves an Urkin here. We just sort of accidentally wandered into this position, and I think we probably ought to do that. We are definitely spending some dust this turn on laying down new pillars, but we need to make sure that we maintain enough for the purpose of buying stuff. Now that's a little tricky, because we don't know exactly how much 30 blood crystal is going to cost. Obviously the first 10 will cost us 70 dust, but after that the price is going to go up because demand has gone up. And we don't really need to buy it just yet, but I want to make sure that we have enough. This plus 2 turns of income has to be enough to actually make that purchase. Is there anything else available here that we could... there's Quicksilver, there's wine, but that's not really a huge problem. Okay. So which Urkin are you, anyway? So, okay, plus 10% attack and damage on... okay. It's the combat one. And also plus dust. If we were to pull this Urkin and put it down in like Isield, the only one of my regions that would be adjacent to is Rondaria. Is there... How does the border break down over here? Oh, that's a shame. Undarin is just barely not touching Rondaria. Zoparusk extends out over this little hex. So if we took the Urkin and we put it down here, it would be feeding dust to 2 of my regions. Another thing we could do is just burn Slick to the ground, take over Isield, put down the Urkin here, and then it's adjacent to 4 of my regions. And we could put it down in the south corner here of Skyen, so if anything attacks it, they at least it will not be undefended. Actually, should we just grab Isield? I was sort of thinking we wouldn't, because it's like, it's out in the middle of somebody else's territory, and that can cause some real problems, but it is in the middle of the territory of the player who cannot declare war on people. And also, we're pals anyway. Maybe this settler that we're building in Lioneth right now is going to grab this instead. Because right now we only have 1 wine deposit, and even with the even with our minor faction, that's not going to produce enough to keep us on the wine booster full time after we put down any more cities. So a second wine deposit is definitely high value. What is the minor faction here? It's a single Delver village, which is kind of sketchy. That's probably not a thing that would be worth considering. We could also get another wine deposit from Slick. But yeah, we should probably plan to take Isield. We'll use Fakir to secure Underin. I mean, I do want to get Underin under control because I want to start picking up the Moonleaf. I'm assuming, we know that Urkins in a region will mine you the resources from that region, but I can't imagine they're affected by this because it does specifically say on the luxury resource extractor. So we won't be getting the good rate of gain unless it's a city. I guess we can find out, right? All right, so where are we putting down pillars? I'll tell you what, we really need more food in the capital. But obviously, putting down a food pillar on the capital when it's going to spend the next 5 turns making a settler seems pretty bad. Let's do a big science pillar here. Like, in the crook of the capital is a very high-value region. We should probably always have a pillar down there. And then I might do, like, a couple of food pillars in the other cities just to get population really going. Is Zoporisk really at 5 pop already? Oh, okay, well, we've had people assigned to population the whole time. Even so, it's doing very well. But you know who needs a little bit of help? Yeah, let's put down a little bit of food for this city. By the way, just so everybody's aware, I received distressing news from Leader Enemy Boss that apparently, although it appears on the tiles themselves that resources do spill across region borders from the pillars, currently they do not. This is a display bug. These tiles do not actually have the bonus food, but that it will be fixed. It will be fixed in an upcoming version of ELCP, perhaps even the next version. Another pillar would be 210. That's probably pushing our dust a little bit too hard if we want to be able to afford to buy access to an Urkin. So how much did that do? Okay, a lot. That did a lot for the birth rate over here. Finish that up, and then we'll get some more military stuff going. Okay, we have a plan. We have some plans. We also have 36 pearls. Right now, my plan with the pearls is to wait for winter. Step 1. Accomplished. Look at that. We're really doing it. Record time. And then, now that the second winter has hit, we can buy things from the second ring around the... Oh, hey, I picked up a pearl by doing that. We can pick up things from the second ring around the altar, and I think we want the chapel. Because we have a couple of cities already where we have 3 villages, and I think this is just a very strong early gain. We don't really have the water to take very good advantage of Iceworks, unfortunately, so I think... it is worth noting, by the way, that there is this Nyctalopian lenses building, which gives just plus 10% science in the city that you build it in. Probably a thing worth remembering. So, cost of diplomatic declarations has gone down. The cost to make deals has not changed. This is just the unilateral declarations. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that. And then we're going to want to pick up some more pearls, but we very, very much want to build a Chapel of Auriga in this region in particular. And then Skyen has 2 villages. Zoporisk is the next place, right? And then that is going to be all of my pearls for the foreseeable future. So we might want to put a rush on that because we're getting to build population here. That said, I also do actually want that other point of like real population. You know what? Just get this done. We'll spend 4 turns to have 3 births, and then we'll move a bunch of people back to food. I think that is well worthwhile. Okay, who got black spotted? That is the Kapaku, right? Yeah, look at me remembering a thing. I wonder, there must be some conflict over here that sparked that. Okay, so we're building stuff. We're doing everything we can. Meritocratic promotion is nearly done. That's cool. I'm a little worried about our access to strategic weaponry, because like exotic weapons is cool and everything, but man, those are expensive. So this will give me 20 adamantium. We do want to do this at some point. I mean, first of all, the temple itself obviously does actually do a thing. But secondly, continuing to move forward on the faction quest for the individual step goals is still worthwhile. So do we know exactly where we're going to put down? My plan was to settle around this, but like which tile around this makes the most sense? Probably toward the water. Well, probably it's right here, right? Because this gets me a single tile, puts me adjacent to the titanium deposit, and also gives me water access. Although I guess this isn't necessarily good water access. I was thinking for the ability to do sea trade. That might not actually be viable. Well, whatever. I think this is probably the right thing. So we'll still be there next turn. Which means that we should probably, if there's any kind of boosters or anything we want to run, we got to think about that. So we got 3 turns left on this and 9 turns left on that. Could we afford to purchase ourselves up a booster of anything else? Nah. Okay. Never mind. Don't worry. Let's go earn ourselves a friend. Also, we get to search a ruin. Hooray. And hopefully he won't spawn a bunch of lice like this one just did, because that would be very inconvenient for me. Alright, pretty expensive overall, but here. I brought you all these crystals. Alright, got 80 of our dust refunded right away. Pretty lovely. So you still have 1 movement. If we move Fakir, I can have this army search that ruin as well. 50 Moonleaf is a little trickier. That's slightly tougher. Green just took Isield while we were... Okay, well... Probably some words are going to have to be said to Green at some point in the near future. Remember, we are at peace with Purple. Purple currently cannot be a problem. Yeah, I'm just going to bounce Fakir over to here. So I want Migrate. It doesn't really matter where in the region. Alright. Siphon me up some Moonleaf. Moonleaf would be lovely. And, I mean, now that we have an Urkin in that region, obviously we can use that Urkin to help us take the city from the necrophages. This region doesn't look so bad. It's got a spiral rock peel near some exotics. There's a fair density of what do you call it? Thingies. You know, the good ones. Anomalies. Do I want to spend a turn grabbing these 2 pearls? No, probably not. If I could grab them and then move back in a single turn, I totally would. For now, let's just put this down. Hopefully Purple won't be too annoyed. So we're going to do that. Looks like a short winter. We can probably just go ahead and queue up the seed storage. Let's put the sewer system in first. Alright, so obviously we're going to need another governor, but we probably have a turn or 2 before that gets done. Are we really at 180 dust per turn? Man. Okay, so what is the plan now? I'm probably not going to try to take Frida. I think we can just leave that for Purple. So we probably want our army to come back over here so that we can start thinking about taking over Slick, right? And then when our settler is done, Fakir can uproot, and Fakir can just be a mobile army for the moment. There is... Oh no, never mind. I was gonna say there is an unsettled region up north that I saw while setting up, but actually, it has been filled. Never mind. I mean, I don't know. Maybe we do just run the settler to Frida. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I think that's a good idea. I do think I want to bring my army home. I don't want to push over there and grab the other like 1 or 2 ruins. But on the way home, I want to get the vision of the rest of this region. Okay, so it is a two village region. It's also a Silix region. Now that's interesting. Silix work just like the Dorgeshi, except for strategic resource deposits. So actually, getting ourselves a second assimilation slot is probably a pretty good idea here. Okay, the awareness of my armies has returned to normal. Yeah, I think that would probably be well worth it. So how much do the heroes cost right now? Okay, next turn we'll be able to go shopping. There is an Ululani Rawi. You know, every time we find a volcanic region, I feel like we find one of those. Oh, can I not? Yeah, that's cliffed. Well, everything's cliffs. Everything's always cliffs around here. I don't think there's a way to unconvert this village without just killing it through violence. You know, the way that you normally kill stuff. So sadly, I suspect we're gonna have to just do that on our way through. Stupid winter visibility penalty. All right, we're gonna have to actually like step all the way out here. The gold has run out, which is a shame. It will be available again next turn. Does not pull us out of Fervent, which I very much appreciate. Oh, I guess they're not going to be pacified either, are they? We're actually going to have to interact here. So is it just Ululani Rawi? Does that make the most sense? There's an Empty Belly, Archivist Hiruduveha maybe? Science Boost 2, yeah. Real Kata has Army Attack Boost 3. He's a very compelling military leader. I do believe Tato Mosipakwa has Industry Efficiency 1. Yeah, Ululani Rawi is in fact a winner. And honestly, like, well suited to the task, right? Did you have... Okay, you already had the skill point. Lovely. Beautiful. Wonderful stuff. Alright, so we'll have to go on a little journey over here. At some point in the near future, we gotta retrofit the rest of this army so that we have actual normal movement speed. It is sadly a little bit on the expensive side. The fact that our income just dropped down to +4, I think means that the game is recalculating our trade routes for some reason. Some kind of trade route related stuff is happening. The roving clans somehow have been the first to attack and defeat at least 10 armies of the other empires. So we should probably have a look into what's going on there. Oh, this has also been culted. Well, I'm afraid I cannot allow this. Now they can reconvert the village if they just run somebody over here and spend some influence on it. And we could close the borders to prevent that from working in some cases, but they'll be able to convert this village no matter what because it's right up against that border, so that's a little awkward. We'll just have to hope that they don't, basically. Alright, yeah, so we'll come over here and we'll do the same thing. The retrofit is 491, so it's going to be a second. But we could get some more dust refineries up. I might want to stay focused here. How many people do I have to have on that to grow? You know what? The dust is just really important. Growth will resume again normally when winter ends either way, so... I think I'm going to pump out a husbandry center in the capital and then set the capital to population for a while. Skyen's about to finish that thing, which is awesome. And we are, in fact, pulling the Moonleaf in at a rate of 1 per turn, it looks like. So we do not get the Dorgeshi benefit on the Urkin. That's a shame, but fully expected. So where are we going to put the settler down? I mean, there's a cluster of anomalies in the middle here. I mean, by cluster, I mean 2, but, you know. That's more than we get anywhere else. That's 4 pearls. If you could just grab that on your way over. Okay. Do I want to set up on top of this one or on top of that one? I guess down here. We don't get the science tile right away, but we get more food and industry, which obviously is pretty critical stuff at the beginning of a city's lifespan. And Rondaria out here in the desert, I think, is producing, what, 2 units, right? I think is what we want. Yeah, get an actual army going. At least a real full-size army, even if it is full of kind of like half-assed troops. Do I want to bring in a Berdeki? What's the cost difference? Almost nothing. They are 9 industry apart. I mean, having ranged troops is good. But also, a thing that's really fast and can disrupt enemy formations is pretty good. Yeah, let's do that. And then maybe it's time to start thinking about this situation. I should uproot you. Oh, right, it has a cooldown. Okay, I'm going to uproot this guy and plop him down right here to grab Baryons. I thought Baryons... Wasn't that settled? Is stuff happening? For the moment, it looks like everybody's neutral with everybody, but the world map keeps changing. And I can't tell if I think it's different because my brain is weird and bad, or if it's actually different. I thought Baryons was settled. Well, let's go get it then. So yeah, remember, we don't want to leave an Urkin in a place where it could reasonably be attacked without us being able to defend it, but next to a city garrison should be just fine. Oh, it's like... There we go. Mine. Not yours. If we reach the ruin marked on our map... Oh, hey, that's actually doable. Alright, I'm going to pull the Zealot, because the Zealot's the only unit in the army that has real shoes. I'm going to run over there real fast and get that. And yeah, purple wasted no time filling the regions. Red went and got the other Urkin, which is cool. That means all of the Urkins are on my team. Obviously, I'd prefer to have them all myself. This Argbod Bos Valhalla, at this point, we're ascending toward greater levels of science quickly enough that I think it's better off we just go to Firestarter rather than secure the greater base science value. Because if we do this quest right, we get a free hero out of it, right? I am very invested in that. Okay, this city definitely wanted to build another burrow. Very important stuff. If I move everybody back to food... Yeah, that should be fine. What did we just finish researching? Oh, right, smelting stations. Yes, an important one. Here in Lioneth, you know, I do want people on food, but also this region does have both of the good things. Let's maybe get that finished first, and then everybody can go back to food. Our empire plan is going to be something costly. That's the something. So there are a lot of things we could go for next. My inclination is native district. Let's go ahead and pick up the minor faction assimilation slot that we're going to want to put these Silics into. Obviously, maybe not the most critical right this second, because the villages are not even ready yet. Let me think. What else would we really want to do right now? I mean, there's public works, but we don't yet have the extractors up. We're working on it. There's, of course, dust alchemy. The dust transmuter is very valuable. We can probably do these in that order then. Get a dust transmuter up somewhere and then consider some depositories potentially. Going for a much dust heavier version of the strategy here. Although I gotta say, like, to some extent I'm doing stuff, and to some extent the game is just sort of like pushing strategies at us. What it makes doable is what we will do, by and large. Wow, they're really building that city out quickly. It's very interesting. So the borders of the nations are getting set pretty quickly here. Oh hey, I am overjoyed about the end of winter. That's a real good time for us. Did that happen right as I finished building the thing? I think it did. Hooray! Alright, take that hero to Lioneth. That's a lot of distance. But there's also a lot of roads. And I'm not going to try to rejoin this army or this unit with my other army or anything. I don't want to accidentally obliterate the army that the game is considering to carry the hero. We want to actually get our dude here. All right, let's fix this. They have a single Harmonite. Because we have one wounded unit, I am going to manual this just to make absolutely certain he doesn't somehow get killed in this battle. And in fact, none of you ground units need to actually play here. All y'all just take a breath. You also can maybe take a breath. I remember our hero has the super long range. Hey, look at that. Your units level up naturally if you just, like, remember to include them in combat. Weird. Who would have thought? Alright, so next turn we get our big retrofits. Let me not queue up a move, because I want them to not move until after we have secured our bonus movement rate. So I think, honestly, maybe the most important thing we could do is rebuild these villages, and then other stuff. Yeah, let's get those done. Do we want to... No, I definitely want to leave this person on food, right? We gotta get that... Gotta get that population. Farm some pop, then build some pop. And then you all... should probably grab this before you settle. Brown just running around and screwing with all of my regions. So what are we looking at for Empire plans now? This is 360. What else might we want to do? We're at 628 now, and we're gaining 16 per turn naturally with 6 turns left. I mean, obviously, the ability to buy out more buildings would be cool. So, like, 720 would be a nice place to end up. Or, if we're talking about potentially doing more military stuff, 720 gets me another tier 2. Do we want to bump some people over to some other stats? Oh, hey, we got some necrophages in my region, which is good because we can see them and judge their statistics. They seem to be fine, not great. I mean, Battleborn are always really dangerous. You gotta watch out for the Battleborn. Yeah, interesting. So we also need another governor now. I think I am going to prioritize the retrofit of our troops over that. I am bummed out to see what looks like an army for the purpose of defending Slick running over here right as we're about to attack Slick, as we were bringing the army back to do that thing. You know, they may just be in here trying to steal my pearls, actually. You're pretty fast. Can you get those? Yeah. We did just finish this unit this turn. I'll just take these. Thank you. Okay, so Slick has a pretty basic garrison, or pretty basic defensive structure, and then also has a couple units in the garrison aside from militia and potentially a governor. We always got to remember a governor is a real combat unit. Potentially, if you've been remembering to upgrade their gear, which we usually don't do, but which we probably should be doing. So I think that the capital is the place that makes the most sense to build the dust transmuter. And obviously, I want to let the extractors finish first. Okay, I get it. They're feeling a little antsy. Really, only 5. Did I not upgrade somebody? Oh, the hero. I never put the movement trinket on the hero because it was too expensive. Yep. There we go. Now this army's a real speed. Moving toward the next point of population pretty quickly. I think we'll leave it like that. How much does it cost to buy out one of these things? 581? Alright, it's worth thinking about. I sort of do just want to, just take the happiness, I think. So, like, basically, I think we're going to bump a bunch of people from this city over to influence. We'll just push influence for a few turns. I'm trying to figure out how I want to order these things. Like, it's pretty important that we get the Berdeki done. I guess let's finish the Berdeki and then move people over to influence, and that'll be plenty of time. Okay, and they turned around. So yes, they were in fact just here to take pearls. What a bunch of jerks. Alright, we'll merge you into that army in just a moment here. It's a shame that an Urkin can't do fungal exfoliation on a region. So what is this? This is Nidya. I mean, I should obviously decultify the villages because we could be using those points of population, but that's not a very high priority minor faction. All right, so in 3 turns, we will... Oh, right, we're going to have to pay the cost for that too. So we are going to need a little bit more influence than I was planning. And that's provided that we don't do anything that will require influence on players, which we already know that we intend to, right? Because I want to declare a war, probably. We'll see. Maybe it will turn out not to be that good of an idea. I guess let's go ahead and just blow this up. Hey, where you go? Cowardice! They must have gone this way, right? I don't want the Eye of the Hernas. I want... whatever. Let's just get the quest over with. So this Zarcha Atenal also heading toward the big bonus now. That army just got assigned a hero. What do they think they're about to do, I wonder? Alright, we probably don't have to manual this. Okay. Hooray, we did it. 25 adamantium. Also an item, but who cares? 25 adamantium. So yeah, we got ourselves an Eye of the Hernas, which is like fine. Oh, actually, hold on. Did it always give damage? That's a little bit more compelling, in my opinion. That can only be equipped by heroes, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't remember that always giving damage. I remember the initiative effects. Let's maybe go say howdy to these necrophages. What the hell are you doing out here? So Karis with a damage boost and an initiative boost. And some levels, probably, yeah, giving some amount of extra HP. I don't like it. I do not like them being here. Gosh, there's a lot of stuff that needs to get done in the capital. How did I think I was ever going to have enough time to make use of that husbandry center? Well, the capital is the largest city by far, and it's a city that I want to keep growing because it has access to so many anomalies and whatnot. So I think this does make sense. It's only plus 10 dust on terrain with dust, though. For some reason in my head, it was just plus 10 dust on terrain. Obviously, there are not a lot of tiles around here with dust, so maybe that's not where we build it. I mean, I don't really have a strong incentive to build this city out, but all of the tiles around here do have dust on them. I wonder, maybe that is the better play. Well, whatever the case, let's finish this and we'll have a look at it next turn. Alright, so we get you back to the city. Hopefully this'll... Did not complete the quest. Do I have to put them in the garrison? I'm just as worried that putting them in the garrison would have the opposite effect. Travel to the indicated village and talk to the Otis while showing the Eye of the Hernas equipped on your hero. That is very inconvenient. We'll see, I guess? Maybe. I do like the 80 influence. That would be cool to have. I think we're definitely just pushing up for mining authority here. Alright, so in Rondaria, bumping everybody over to influence production for just a minute. And while we're doing that, obviously it wouldn't be super helpful to work on the dust transmuter. You know, negotiation tactics is apparently cheap as free, so I guess let's do that. Down here... We have 2 villages, so a chapel's not horrible. It would only be half of my pearls. Did we want to build another district? No, we are not urgently in need of another district, that's for sure. So maybe the chapel does make sense. We could start just slowly building up more troops, but I mean, it's going to be very, very slowly. I think I do just start working on the chapel. Combination of growing population slowly the natural way plus the chapel way. So, okay, hold on a second. Take the wounded hero to the marked city to recover before 7 turns. We are standing, in fact, on the marked tile. So I'm going to leave it right there. What's this? Oh, we had not formally met the Morgar. I did not even remember that was the case. We are 1 technology off of moving into the next era, and nobody else is in the next era. And also, Glorious Father. Interesting. Hold on a second. Am I the technology leader? I'm tied for technology leader. Wow. Actually, everybody else is just kind of doing a bunk-ass job on their science. Well. So what was the... Oh. This is the one that gives you the city improvement that makes all your dust good. What is this? Be the first to raise one of your heroes to level 8. Okay, we're close. We're probably not going to get that, would be my guess, because I'm not pumping any of my heroes particularly hard, but that would be a cool one to have. So... That reading was before we popped the wine. It would be really nice to be at, it'd be really nice to be at 100 approval. Because the way legendary deeds work, seat order is the tiebreaker, and we are in the first seat at the table. If you remember in the game setup room, so if multiple empires are at 100, as long as we're one of them, we will get the thing. So is there a level 2? We could buy enough blood crystals to run a blood crystal booster. We could do the same thing with the quicksilver. How unhappy is my unhappiest city? Pretty unhappy. Because the thing is, 2 boosters isn't going to cap us out unless it caps out our worst city, right? Like every city has to be over the top. I think we're gonna push really hard for that though, because it's worth a lot of money over the course of the game. So, if I am the one who is going to take us there, let's see. We're definitely going to want public works. So we got like 3 turns to sort this, and we also have to lay down new pillars this turn. It's a really awkward time. Most of our cities are quite happy. Yeah, give me a grass steel extractor for sure. Or grass silk, rather. And then, you know, one of those is cool, too. So let's see. We're gonna need to run... For this city's sake, it's at 57. It's gonna jump to 77. So we're gonna have to run 25 points of boosters to cap ourselves out. Which is... Blood Crystal... plus emeralds plus quicksilver. The grass steel and the quicksilver, or the blood crystal and the quicksilver are really important because those are 10 approval each. So we may delay our pillars a second here to make sure this happens. Cause the difference between having this thing work and having it not work is very large. We could potentially sell off some strategics, I suppose, if we wanted to try to make the pillars happen now, but of course, this is the period of the game where everybody thinks, it's safe to sell glass, steel, and titanium. So they're not actually worth anything. What we're probably actually talking about here, though, is not putting down new pillars for like another 5 turns after this. So maybe what I want to do instead is just put down a couple of pillars. I'm going to put down a food pillar in the highest value position we have. Put another one down over here. That's a nice and high value. And then maybe we just stop there for the moment. We just have 2. And I'm gonna leave them on the city to see if the quest trigger will happen at the start of the next turn. And if it doesn't, then we'll try garrisoning them. I don't want to destroy the army, obviously, but I do really want this to finish. Also, it's worth noting that if we're talking about declaring war on this, I definitely don't want to attack it until after 60, because we need to make sure we get our empire plan set. So here, let's run down here. We'll have the Berdeki jump out of the city and join the army. And then y'all can just go grab some pearls for the moment. You can never tell what in this game is going to just trigger at the beginning of a turn, or things do not always behave the way I expect them to. But maybe the deal is you have to drop the army into the city. Actually, it looks like it stopped glowing, so I think we're about to see a... Yep, there it is. You just needed to bring them there and wait for a second. We have been gifted a wounded hero, Arla Sabor. What's your deal, Arla? You have Infantry Slayer 4, Army Damage Boost 3. Obviously, you're a very good spy on account of being a Forgotten. Interesting. You are currently wearing a Disease Immunity Ring, and you have a full set of basic Hyperion gear. Wow. Yeah, actually, Arla Sabor is quite a fighter. aside from the fact that 92 life cannot be correct. You have... Well, I don't have the dust to think about healing you right now, so you're just going to have to... Don't worry, we'll come back for you. Do I want to finish off Will of Achilles now? No, I want to go north, I think. There's some valuable stuff up here. The Alchemic Institute was constructed by Brown. Okay. Yet more reason to try to take over their city later. That would be fun. So... I don't know that it matters which of these we do first. In theory, it shouldn't, right? So we need 40 for a booster right now. 35. Can't even make it happen in one. Man. All right. This is tough. This is expensive. So that gets us to 96, you know? It's close. Oh, what's wrong with Madanav? No, wait, Madanav's the one we were expecting to be unhappy. What's wrong with Onderin? No, wait, Onderin's the one I was expecting to be unhappy. Wasn't this city happy a moment ago? Nightmares. 3 turns? Because, you know, both of these cities would be fixed if they just got their central market down. What's it cost to buy out a central market? 467? Okay. Because, like, we're looking at either having to buy out 2 central markets, or I'm trying to think, is there anything else I can do that would yield a very quick happiness bonus? There's only one luxury resource that gives more than 10 approval, and it's wine, and we already have it running. So... yeah, we are just kind of like, we are just in a space where we have to be able to afford this thing if we want to be able to, if we want to be at 100 as we cross the line, and we so desperately want to be at 100 as we cross the line. There's nothing in this world that matters more than that. That's not true. There are a few things, though. It's a small number. Where on earth did y'all come from? Well, you are definitely not allowed to be here. I guess I appreciate you helping me out with that. Yeah, that might have been that Yota's army from earlier that we saw spawn and then just, like, seemed to disappear. I don't know where they would have went. Generally, armies like that will not wander out of their home region, but I guess that must be what happened. So I'm going to keep you on this for a moment. Because we want, like, okay. One thing we could do, I suppose, is delay 2 turns for public works. Actually, yeah, I was maybe not thinking about this correctly. Because if we just delay a little bit and do this thing and then finish our research on turn 61... then we'll get it. My concern there is just that, like, any amount of time we spend delaying means somebody else could just get it instead of us, because there were multiple other players at the same number of finished technologies, right? It makes me very uncomfortable to try any kind of delaying play there. But I just don't know that we have much of a choice. So let's see, there's very limited value to this. I guess, you know what might be cool is watchtowers. Probably, like, this watchtower is not awesome. This one is legitimately useful. All right, we're going to push to 1 turn until we have the technology that pushes us over into the next era. If nobody else gets us over the line here... oh, somebody did. Okay. And that means the cultists get it instead of me, and that's a real sad time, man. That's a heartbreaker. Lioneth probably needs... Lioneth needs to focus on population, is what Lioneth needs. Yeah, that's a shame. Well, let's run across some pearls here. Can't help but notice that you have an army in my territory there, Pink. What's that about? What's the story there? Are we going to have enough influence? We are totally going to have enough influence to do this assimilation now and still be able to take the empire plan of our choosing. I want to get that on since we're already mining Palladian and everything. So, yeah, let's, I guess, get ready to take Slick over. We're going to have to wait until after the empire plan because there's an influence cost attached to declaring war, obviously. I don't feel too bad about our units, about the Quicksilver thing. Like, our units need XP. It is a valuable thing for them to have. Oh, that's right. They did close borders on me, didn't they? Well, it is probably still best for us to just run back up this way. And then Fakir can obviously support very quickly from there. I wonder. So we haven't seen any movement in the borders really for a while. Also, do I want to spawn a settler for the purpose of taking Baryons here? Because that might be a good thing to do. I don't know where I'd want to build them from. Probably Rundaria, honestly. Yeah, Rundaria's not building up, Here, do this. Well, obviously, we'll bump people back to industry in a moment. And I think I'm still gonna work to get these markets done. Like, it would be nice if the city, if the whole empire was at Fervent all the time anyway, even if it's not necessarily going to get us that thing. But we are riding remarkably close to the front of the pack here on science. Ooh. It being eclipse time has changed my mind about this army movement, I think. Let's end the turn right here. So, the leader of the Silix worries that explorers who went in search of the rare elements needed to grow their finest crystals have been missing for several seasons. They were last sighted at ruins in a neighboring region, but since then the trail has gone cold. He offers a reward if you can help learn what has happened to their people. That region is... I mean, it's accessible. Alright, I'm gonna go for it. Hopefully Green won't be too sore about this. I doubt they'll attack me, because my army is actually just capable of defeating theirs pretty easily. 2 sources of Hyperium, no Mithrite, but if we can only have one, I'd rather have that one. A Dust Orchid, A Dust Water. What about in the regions surrounding, though? More Hyperium and Slick. There's Mithrite there. Okay, not a ton of value in terms of, like, strategics or anything. The Dust Orchid's really nice. We won't be able to have these boosters running all of the time, but it'll be a significant amount of the time. So we're not going to need the 25 approval, right? Because we're pretty much stable without it. So what I do want to put our Empire plan on is this one then. Cheaper buyouts. Because with the combination of the reduction to the base cost of the building and the buyout cost reduction, we'll be able to spend all this dust to really, really rush some stuff out. I think I like that quite a bit. We could have taken the military thing, but I don't think we're going to have to. And then we have a moment here where we could afford a hero. Right? We need one? Yeah, we need one. So who would make a good governor? Some of these we would have to wait a turn for. Science Boost 2 is like fine. Necrazeban gives Dust Boost 1. You know, Tinu the Chosen is maybe, it's a little late, perhaps. You have an unspent skill point, so we can just drop a point in immediately. Yeah, it's later than I would like to pick up a cultist hero, but they're not bad. Influence boost 1 is kind of whatever. Let's see, Asala Arca has a skill point misspent, so that's a little bit of a bummer. I think I am just going to take Tinu. I'm going to take this Tinu, who is 2 dust cheaper than the other one. All right. Did we get the quest from... Huh. Maybe I did it already? The quest that should have come from the Drogeshi at some point. Yeah, I guess I must have done it already. Okay, so I think everything is roughly in order here, except we gotta figure out new technology to research. So let's see. Over here, we definitely benefit from building out some more burrows. We don't need a central market, really. Let's build out. We got some earth spines and stuff that we can take advantage of. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And we don't have to be so industry focused here. We can just get population for a moment. Should dismiss that. Okay. So, a brave new era here. We do still need to get the Arcana of Materializing, and we know that it's in our faction quest, so that's definitely a thing to go back for. There's a bunch of science technology that we've left behind. You know, there's endless mechanisms. This is always worth quite a push in the late game. It's probably not critical, though. Let's get the Hyperium extraction up first. I don't know what I'm thinking. This is clearly the most important thing. Then we'll go back and get the old science tax. Then we'll go get the new science tax, which we'll be able to afford thanks to all of our Hyperium. What a world, right? So I'm leaving that city on influence production for the moment. Oh, this is a temple ruin too. Green is going to be annoyed. I'm not going to take their pearls. I don't know. Hold on. Okay, back to Cold War for you. Wait, what's the problem with this? Oh, equipped with 2 Harmonite units. Hey, read the quest. Read the quest text, dummy. I actually did end up sacrificing a ruin to these assholes. And they do have 2 Harmonites. They're just embarrassing me on every front. Alright, so 3 turns until we have the next thing. Let's build a bunch of science buildings. Because we know what the city's doing after that. So, meritocratic promotion in exchange for 41 Palladian. That's gotta be worthwhile, right? Is Red one of the players who is tied with me on total researches? They're behind. We'd be pushing them up to the same level. I don't think that's a bad idea necessarily. I don't really think that's a problem. And 41 Palladian is a lot of money. It's a lot of weapons. It's a lot of buildings. I'm into it. I'm willing to do that deal. All right, we are absolutely desperate for for a real source of influence. It would be so nice to have one. Yeah, the National Museum would be great here. We got, gosh, I have a lot of things I want to build in the capital. Well, right now it's pushing food pretty well on its own. Let's refocus for a moment. Okay. Get that done. And I guess everybody else is just doing the thing they need to be doing. We have like a few turns left on these pillars, right? Yeah, 6. Okay, so we're saving up dust for that. How much influence are we going to need to manipulate the situation to our benefit? For right now, it looks like nobody's at war with anyone. Nobody's got any feelings about anyone, actually. The only non-default diplomatic relationship in the game is our relationship with Red. Okay, it looks like it's not going to be terribly expensive to get back to peace. It's also not terribly critical. But sorry, so the term is 64 plus... It'll probably be about 100 points, that deal. Probably about 100 to declare war on you as well. Yep. We're just going to have to keep that city on influence for a while. Really, there's not a lot to be done about it. All right, go First Atonement Circle. Get to the ruin quickly. Because you know they're going to try it. Why is it not? There we go. No, do it. There we go. Hooray, 110 dust. Actually really happy about it. I said it in kind of a sarcastic sounding way, but I'm actually overjoyed. Yeah, because trying to talk Purple into participating in this war with me was a big part of how my plan for how this war doesn't turn into me just getting consumed by the necrophages. So, like, I do need quite a lot of influence, in fact, to make that part of the deal function. All right, so we could just give them dust. We could give them some glass steel. Boy, they want whatever we give them. They want all of it. Pulling in 5 glass steel per turn right now. It's not so bad. Would I be better off just giving them all my dust? Yeah, it's only a couple of turns worth of dust, but it's a bunch of turns worth of everything else. All right. So, let's talk about declaration of war on Purple. What does that deal, or on the necrophages? What does that deal look like? If I also declare war on them. Okay. If I also declare war on them, that's a single technology, but that does still put it at close to 300. So we declare the war, we rush this city while this thing pops off. And I imagine, in terms of military strength, they're remarkably close, actually. They're closer than I'm comfortable with. Well, I'll be helping. Wait. Tinen's just empty? What happened to Tinen? Oh no. And also, and also, weird. So, you know what Onderin needs to do? We need to get that Moonleaf extractor up. I'm realizing as I'm looking at the Moonleaf in the other region. Gosh, there's a lot of things to do. This is probably the highest level of criticality. So is the plan now hard focus on the settler production to take Tinen, and then we'll bump people over to influence somewhere else? I mean, it takes a couple of cities of people on influence to equal that one is the core problem with that. But, like, maybe that is in fact the play? I think it kind of is. Gosh, I need influence. Where's that thing for that quest? All right. We get 80 influence if I go to that tribe. So we may have to do that. And there's always so much to do in these games. It's always very busy. Look at the size of that city. They're really pushing it. Gosh, I hope it doesn't have a garrison. My life is going to be so much easier if that city does not have a garrison. So yeah, we're going to have to go around, right? Because they won't let us run through their territory. Which is an impulse that I totally get. I wouldn't want me running through my territory either if I weren't me. Oh. Never mind. We'll grab... Well, no, this one's on the way. Definitely want to make sure we get one of those. So Zoparusk has finished what it was doing, and now we can build another burrow out and get ourselves a whole bunch of science and approval. And then we can build another burrow and get a whole bunch of science and approval. I'm not opposed to that while you're focused on pumping out the influence. So we got lots of plans. We got so many so many plans, so many schemes, so many little things brewing. Has anyone sold? Nope. I was kind of hoping for a large quantity of dye to have appeared on the market at some point in the recent past. Well, Tinen has been re-necrophaged, but that's fine. We have a plan for dealing with that. That is not... That's not so bad as a settling place. They put it next to the spiral rock peel. It's not where I want it. I want it to be further south, like down here somewhere, but... It's all right. We'll get it. We'll get it sorted. All right. It is absolutely time to derail what Zoparusk is doing, because now we can build Hyperium mines. Hard to imagine anything more valuable. I will say, the fact that we're like actually keeping up on science this game has a lot to do with how extremely lucky we got with our first couple of regions. Like, we had some very, very powerful stuff happen. Which is like the really tight clustering of the anomalies and the very high value tiles in general. And I'm feeling a little bad because I don't feel like I've earned it all that much. Sea monster, not my problem. This is my favorite kind of problem. So it's that village. I'm allowed to run through Red's territory. I'm sure they'll be fine with this. It's going to be a very brief run through too. Now that that is done, I do think we should get the harvest going on the dust orchids as quickly as possible. Yeah, so that stuff... Madanav, we created an opening for this, and we shall seize upon it. And then you should probably build that palladium extractor. That'd be a good idea. Zoparusk, boy, I sure do want you to focus everybody on industry right now. Sadly, we have another plan. We have a very important plan that we are pushing on very hard. The pillars are close to done, right? I'm trying to just have a bunch of dust up here. 3 turns. Okay. I think what we really want to do is just kind of save the majority of our dust here. And then I guess we can put Rondaria back on influence as well and really, really pump up the value of that. And we will leave that largely completed settler running, and they'll take over Barians for us eventually. Or should I just be building more units in this city? We're going to have to pump out some military units here from some places pretty soon. As soon as this war starts, it's going to be all the way on, right? Unless Purple ends up just rolling over them. Like, it turns out to be no problem at all, which totally might happen. Right now, what's probably happening to the Necrophage player is that they are slowly starving to death because they can't farm, right? They can't really grow their civilization without war. War is an absolutely critical part of the thing. So I don't know what they're doing. They should definitely be thinking about making some kind of moves. So this is the turn that we have more than enough influence to instigate the deal. Visional update in just a moment here. Is that a cliff face? It is. Okay, we're going to have to move one more tile. Hooray! 80 influence and also 2 garbage Yotus units that we cannot retrofit in any way, but they can just go live in a garrison somewhere. So we got to get back to here, and then it is on. Then it is on, like, yeah, in a serious way. Like, in a serious way. It is not on, like, Donkey Kong. That is my default. That's where I was going, and you all heard it. And I'm embarrassed. You're embarrassed hearing it, but think of how embarrassing it must be for me to have basically said it. And I think what we're going to do is we're just going to move some Ateshi Zealots to the top of the queue here, because we're going to need military units. Do I want to... You know what? We're going to build some fancy units. Give me a new design based on the mighty Ateshi Zealot. These are the big Z's, because they're going to be basically the same thing as the normal Ateshi Zealot, but with strategic gear. And we can't afford to build too many of these, which is why I feel they need to be a separate thing. So they have improved life, they still have bonus movement, and they're going to run... Do we want it to be... So, like, for stat comparison, 18 attacks, 20 damage, versus 18 attack, 20 damage, and a ton of initiative, or 35 attack and 38 damage. I think I want it... I mean, obviously, going first is a big deal. If we do this, we have 48 initiative. It's hard to know what we would need. I'm gonna try building them with just the very, very high damage value. So why don't you build me a big Z real quick? Get some more intense units going here. Oh, actually, we can see some of their units. So 50 initiative, 56 initiative, 67. So actually, the difference between the titanium and the glass steel weapons actually would push us across that threshold. Oh, really? I give you Alchemy Workshop and we just have an alliance. I'm into it. I'll do that. Hey, we finally met the last player. I'm going to close my borders to the Necrophage. Get the hell out of my territory. Well, they're just going to reopen automatically when we declare it. Never mind. That's silly. That's not worth doing. Is that a settler? It is. What are you doing? Where's that going? My friend, what are you doing? Okay, so they have a 5-unit garrison with 500 or 256 fortification. Somehow. That doesn't seem real. But we do have real army and units and stuff over here, so maybe it's not the end of the world. Boy, what do I want to do in Skyene next? I mean, it's still 4 extra influence per turn, which is actually still a significant gain, even if we don't have a very large city going. Yeah. We can probably afford to move people back off of influence in all of these places, is my feeling. We have enough to work with. Now I'm just waiting on positioning for the deal. But the fact that there's a Necrophage army inside my territory is... that does make things more complicated. So, an alliance with Red has given us some extra vision. Wait, is this... Those are not the Necrophage colors. Those are the Kapaku colors. I should use the darker blue when we're doing this, because it doesn't really look like purple, and it doesn't look anything like this color. Yeah, I'll remember to use the darker blue. So, of course, kind of goes without saying, this is the most well-defended city in their empire, because it's, the one they founded among their enemies. That makes sense. It's annoying, but it makes sense. So, Boy, are we going to be able to do this is the question. Let's take one more quick look at the diplomatic situation as a whole. Are you at war with anyone? No. So opening up a war is potentially kind of dangerous. In a way, it's sort of dangerous. Your military strength hasn't really changed much, but Purple's has jumped way up. And we're probably, if we do this, we're probably ceding a bunch of land to Purple. But I don't necessarily think that's a big problem, with Purple sort of inclined toward us in a friendly way right now, and granted, it'll mean that I'm, like, me and Blue are the only people really adjacent to them. I don't know. I don't know if it's probably the right thing to do. I'm just nervous about the execution. All right. I'll tell you what, we're going to stop here for today because we're way past the hour, it turns out. That is going to be it for us for the moment. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, tomorrow, we're going to put some plans into effect. I mean, we should take Slake. It's a big, powerful city, and it now has a Hyperium deposit in its region, which, like, that's very hard to turn down. But we're going to have to figure out exactly what our plan is for surviving the backlash to doing that. And we'll see you then.